celery, the owl's celery, fennel. But we're just going to go through here soon with a sickle and chop it all down. Just the top, chop the tops off, but still make it so it can still hold water. So it hasn't rained in a while, but it just rained last night, so only a little bit, which is why it's wet. But this pyramid is 53 degrees parallel sides facing magnetic north, and that rock come from actual pyramid. An actual pyramid here in Kaimanawa in New Zealand. This one is chocolate mint, alfalfa, and there's heaps of plants that I know are edible, but I've forgotten their names. Yeah, we got like 3 different color cloves. What's the big elephant garlic? I forgot what those are called. But there's yukon underneath. I can show you how we use yukon. Same as like these strawberries, different types of strawberries, Tautau everywhere, and we just leave that and it just keeps like rotting and regenerating itself. But yeah, that's yum as in salad. I forgot what the name of that one is. We got about 3 different colours of sugarcane as well, and that's good for the fungi, good for the spread of mycelium underneath the earth. That one's a mandarin. We got like a pine nut inside there. That one's Tautau, which is just coming back again, which is sacred basil. Definitely get sacred basil. Jerusalem artichoke has just come back again. It comes back every year around here, but it's just started to grow again. Yeah, and same with yukon's coming up too. We just leave the roots of the yukon to rot, and we use it for our microbiome too, because it's super good for your gut. Otherwise, if we go through and there's different parsleys and that, we should really chop it off now, but otherwise they reseed when it's the right time. Different types of grasses, especially clove, and that will, especially when it starts getting hot and then cold again, will go down. They have turns at which ones come up and down, and that's when the different seeds self-seed. Like, we don't really have to. Now that you have like a living mulch and you're playing with living mulches, you're not really playing with wood chips or anything anymore. It's magical seeing them self-seeding. And because when they do self-seed, when you have a plant, if you make a hole and put a seed in the ground, when the taproot first goes down, all these other plants get to know the baby. They all start supporting the baby, and then as that plant gets bigger, all these different plants, because it knows the baby, it lets its roots come through. When you're planting a plant that's already got some size and you put it in there, there's more of a discussion happening, and they're more defensive of their position. So it'll only be allowed to keep whatever sort of space there's not many plants at. Clove allows a lot of plants through. South Heel allows a lot of roots through, but this dock and the celery and the taro and the kale, if I plant a plant in there and it's already established, they're not going to allow its roots to come through. But if at a baby, if these plants got to know the seed, and when it's first sprouts, they're getting to know it as a baby, so they're teaching it about its rules. So this one might be a musician, and it has all these different type of instruments, so it's teaching the baby the rules. You're not allowed to come in here, you're not allowed to throw my instruments around, you got to be respectful. If you use one of the flutes, here's where you put it back. It knows its rules. So we'll say that the seedling is Johnny. And then Johnny gets older and knows Harriet. Knows all of Harriet's rules for the instruments. So Johnny's allowed to spread its roots all the way over here. And it does the same thing. Any seed that germinates itself in the ground, all these other ones get to know it. And the same thing, year by year by year by year, they get to know each other more and more and more, and they get to know when each other thrives, so they allow space for each other to grow. There's a huge amount of communication happening under there. When you when the sun hits the soil, it's like you taking a blade and you cutting off the first layers of your soil, of your skin, and all that plasma that comes up, that's all the different weeds. They're doing their job, but they're in a survival state, so they're just trying to like net themselves together, and protect the soil underneath. Every country where you're at, you'll have a plant that's really dominant like that because they're in a survival state. But when you start getting them all living together, they all mellow out, and because they're safe now. Your microvascular system, you got all these pressure points in your body. We call them atua, we call them archetypes. That's where trauma and everything holds, but they're all talking to each other. If you cut the first layer of your skin off and the sun hits your flesh, it kills your microvascular system. Your bigger veins could be seen as yours, but the micro veins are not yours. They're actual fungi. Same as if you go into the forest, if you pull out a plant, it's got all the shiny, bigger roots belong to that plant, but all those little fluffy ones don't. They're a fungi. So the first one that grabs a plant, as soon as the taproot comes out of the seed, mycorrhizal fungi will go and grab it first, and that connects to the mycelium, which connects to all the rest of them. If that is taking place, if it's got the mycelium, the mycorrhizal, and the plant, another fungi climbs up. That's the endophytic fungi, which is the same as in a human, the endocannabinoid system. It connects all your other systems, your muscular system, your skeletal system, your endocrine system, your immune system, your like adaptive immune system, your innate immune system. Any bodily systems that you have, they're all connected from a harmonizing system, which is rongo marairoa, which is in Māori we call it rongoa when we're talking about the practice of medicinal plants. But the endophytic fungi, so you have that communication happens, and that endophytic fungi that climbs up inside the plant is the medicine holder. So all medicine plants around the world, you could say mugwort, they've tested mugwort. And if there's just soil around it, dirt, and the sun's hitting the dirt, or you have, especially in New Zealand, if you got like dairy farm over here and they're spraying urea, inside the urea is antifungus, antibiotics, insecticides, pesticides, hormones, preservatives, what do you call it, steroids. It's got antifungus in it. So if there was a dairy farm over there, they're spraying antifungus, and then it's killing all the fungus underneath. So you don't have that connection. You don't have the mycorrhizal with the endophytic, with the mycelium, and allowing all those different plants to happen. When that's happening, the endophytic fungi is the medicinal powerhouse. If you don't have the endophytic fungi, so if you got antifungus getting sprayed around, you don't have the endophytic fungi, your mugwort is 10% medicinal, no? Or less. You're only ever going to get to the 10% of its potential. Its medicinal potential, you're only ever going to get to 10%. So you couldn't really call that mugwort. It's like, nah. Same with all plants. All plants, especially the herbs, they're all medicinal. They all got benefits to them. So what you want every type of herb that there is. And then when you're, I'll get into that soon. I'll sit down and have a talk about that. But yeah, there's heaps of different types of, almost all of these are edible. That's a blue rosemary. That one's a banana passion fruit again, and there's feijoa underneath it. This is our drying room. This is where we dry the mugwort. And then you can like vaporize it or make teas out of it, or any type of plants. We like dry it in there. And this is my daughter's little chill out spot. That's her little garden. She's got different strawberries and stuff in there. That one's a pink banana. These ones are the yellow sugarcane. We'll get over there soon. We don't use our worm farm anymore, so we've just dug big pits, and just so we can keep it all soft so the worms can still move around, because heaps of the worms need topsoil. They need quite soft topsoil, especially if you've raised them in a worm farm. Yeah. Otherwise, every year we would, even when we had the worm farm, we don't need the worm farm anymore. We have enough biomass that we just keep chopping and dropping. That's a what do you call it? A giant snow banana. This one's galangal. Babako. Different type of rosemary. When we do, like if we have all the wandering dew and stuff, we just like drop it right there. Like we quite like that wandering dew. Dew as in like D-E-W, like the dew of the water. I was taught like Jew, like J-E-U, like some racism type stuff. but it's not. It's now that I've built a relationship with it, and the moisture that it holds in, it's quite magical. You can't eat it or anything, and it doesn't have a lot of benefits, but mainly it's holding moisture. And when you get rid of it, you just grab it. That's a baby blueberry that just self-seeded itself. And you just drop it. Tree lucerne. Agasace. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, heaps of Titania everywhere. Titania, you can just like chop it, especially in winter. Chop the branches off and plug them around the place, and then they just grow again. And then that's like maybe one of our main chop and drops. Magic. Otherwise, we got heaps of different medicinal mushrooms that are in here. But because we're quite high up in salt air, we need to give mist, which is why we got these pipes running everywhere. I'll show you that system soon. But otherwise, we just chuck the plants that we don't want to grow, like prickles and stuff. We chuck them in here, put the lid back on, wait for it to rot, and then we just tip it out, and then it goes down the hole, and it goes and swales and bursts. Otherwise, yeah, we don't have a river or anything to create the water. We got to catch the water. Which is why we got these barrels at the top of the property. This is my bit. Up there's my mum's bit. She's not vegan. But her runoff, she doesn't really do anything down there. Her runoff comes down this other side and down there into this other bit of bush. They don't really garden or anything up there. We call this pho. It's actually edible, but not very nice or anything. But we chuck it to here. And it leaves like a real rich type buzz. Same as like winter melon, like not a really satisfying, like not a strong taste, but there's like a rich feeling afterwards that it's not really nice aftertaste. Unless you have it something in a smoothie, or with the winter melon we cook it. Even when, like, a lot of times I eat raw. But when it's winter melon and things like that, I cook it a little bit, or at least steam it. Yeah, that one. And inside there is the ice cream bean. There's an ice cream bean in there. That's only a couple of years old. And same under here is a white sapote, which is holding the weight of this banana passion fruit. I'm seeing how it's surviving. Gonna keep an eye on it. Looks to be alright at the moment. But you want to grow, yeah, every type of different herb that's in the cupboard. You want to grow every type of different herb, which is pineapple sage. So you want all the sages. Type of lettuce. the more things you have going around. So it hasn't been watered up here, but now the rain's watering it, so at least it survived the onslaught as it goes from spring into summer. That's when we still got heaps of slugs, but we just let the slugs go hard. They don't fully demolish the plant, but no, that's like it suffered the worst of it, and it's still here, so it's going to start pumping. So I'll show you some videos of that in the coming months. We'll come back over there, but that's tropical guava. That one's basil mint. That's awesome. But like when basil mint first took off, it just ganked everything. But now that we got the basil mint with the orange balm, I think that's orange balm. Yeah, this orange balm and the orange balm over there, that one must be lemon balm. Yeah, that one that I smelled before. And then having those two grow together, they make an off-breed that is like a mixture in between them. And then you got it growing next to the Teutonia. It's a little bit more vanilla-y. Everything that's around the Teutonia is a little, I can taste it, a little hint of vanilla in it. Yeah, heaps of different types of just edible leaf. I don't know the names of them anymore. But so if it was just basil mint growing too hard out, but then we had to chop it back, and then so when we prune everything. We just cut a little bit of every single plant. If you were growing in a room, for example, you had like 50 plants and you pruned 2 plants. These 2 plants are going to release a pheromone saying let's grow, a growth hormone. Even if they're in pots, they're releasing the hormone through the air saying let's grow. But all the 48 other plants are saying, nah, we're sweet. No, we're sweet as we are. But if you took leaves off all of them, they all release the pheromone and they all are together. They're on the same page. Otherwise, if you did half and half, if you prune half of them, you can see they start stressing out because there's an actual argument taking place. Half of them's wanting this, half of them's wanting that. But if you cut a little bit off every single plant, they all release the hormone together, and they all grow together. In Māori we call it Whaititiri. That's the goddess of thunder and also the adrenal glands. It's like a boo, 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 boo. that goes under the ground as they release the hormones and fucking shoots up. Rokoto. Yeah, this is just grows crazy in abundance, which we make chili from once a year. These are Narangilla. Narangilla's from Ethiopia, or there is one from Ethiopia. A couple of different strands, but you can see how defensive of a plant it is. Even on there, if I were to push my finger upwards, it gets all those different like fiberglassy things in it, but if I go downwards, I can rub them off. Yeah. And in the winter, when we harvest it in the winter, really sour. But in the middle of summer, real nice. Like one of the nicest flavors I've tasted. It's like an orange flavored feijoa in the summer. Otherwise, it's just real sour. But huge amount of vitamin C. So when we have a flu, like we don't really get, because we got all these medicinal plants, they're all sharing with each other. You could just eat one of them and you're getting that net underneath. Because there's living mulch, the whole thing, you know? We were just lucky when we started, so this is 6 years old, we already had canopy trees, which is blocking, because we're right on the west coast and it's real windy, and we're high up too. So everything goes over and dries out quick because it's going down the hill. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to catch it as it's going down the hill. And the more plants you got, it's doing that, and we got these swales and birds that are catching it as it goes down. It's like having antibiotics. If you have antibiotics, it drops a nuke and kills everything. But all the different life forms that are in you drop their spawn, and it hides in all the crevices of the coral reef. Same as if you're talking about biochar. We make biochar too, but we're just using it from our actual like fireplaces. We don't like make, it's like a bonus that we get it, and then we catch our mimi and then our urine, because we're just me, my wife and kids living here. We're all 100% organic vegan. We know exactly what we put into us. We only put the best into us. So we compost we have a human manure compost. I I can show you that too. And we save our mummy, but we put our mummy in the same barrels that we put the biochar in. Biochar's like just got so many different holes, crevices for creatures to live. Same as in a coral reef. Same as in a ngahere in a forest, this is like food forestry. This is permaculture, but without the fucking any type of animal slavery at all, any type of exploitation at all. I'll show you when we're down in the main forest. But if an animal comes and it starts destroying too much, you pin which bit it's destroying. Like you pin your garden, you don't pin the animal. No, that's what we try to get to. In Māori, it's called kurangaituku. Kurangaituku is like the bird woman, the bird lady. Yeah, she's fruitarian. It's like an ancient goddess story in Māori. Yeah, so no exploitation, whatever. She allows the creatures to guide her movement. No, if a bull come in and it's destroying your garden, you pin the garden. You don't pin the bull. And then you start communicating and teaching and getting to know the bull. No, and then you start introducing it and teaching it, and it learns. No, and then you allow the bull to guide the growth of the forest. The same thing within your puku, the same thing as how your microbiome works. I'll explain that very soon. But my daughter always comes and takes a whole heap of these. It's only a baby plant, but it produces so much. Yeah, when we first planted it and like it started producing almost straight away, but real bland, we make a vena, which is like a slow fermented, but only over a day, 2 days, like oatmeal, overnight oats, and then you add berries to it, and then all the polyphenols, the gel that the oats, as it like broke down. So we soak our oats overnight, and then in the next morning we blend it up, and then we put it in some containers, and then we chuck like chia seeds and stuff in there as well. But main thing, you chuck berry and fruits in there, and especially frozen berries, the polyphenols. Inside the polyphenols, it's like a probiotic and a prebiotic. Probiotic is life form, so it's got heaps of different good bacteria, and it's got the food for the bacteria as well. So they wake up, so they can survive being frozen. Especially if they wake up slowly. If you were to put them straight in the sun and a frozen berry, and then the sun hits it, it kills a lot of the creatures that are in it. But protected from the gel, especially the chia seeds as well, when it's gelled up, they start releasing and spreading all that life. It's like making nut yogurt. I can show you how to make nut yogurt too, and like pumpkin seed yogurt and all that type of awesomeness. Turk's cap hibiscus. That's the same sugar cane. We just chop and drop the whole sugar cane. So I was wanting to show you this now before we go through it with the machetes. And then it's like, oh my god. But like only for like a week, it's like, oh my god, like it looks almost desolate, like everything's on the ground. But then because they all drop together and they all shoot out that pheromone together, they all boost. Yeah, ice cream bean. And another type of rosemary. But no, see the plants, there's still many plants underneath this, and it still allows it to come through. But as we pull it back, we'll find some more. This is the one bit where it's dominant. We just planted some onga onga, which is tree nettle. Got a couple of types of tree nettle. There's going to be one growing up there, so we just look out for that. Kawakawa. Worcester berry, so that's coming back now. That was being asleep, just waking up, but super grunty spikes. Mountain pawpaw. It's cool that it's getting these branches coming off now too. Jabuticaba. That's like 3 years old and it's a little baby, but it grows real slow. Brazilian grape. It's magical that we're on the top of a hill. Like, cause no other people's runoff, otherwise dairy farms all around here right now. And like it's the beginning of summer, but it's all of a sudden real dry, so they're all dried out. And we're all good. And we haven't even watered. Different ecosystem. 100%. Different ecosystem. Like we can go for a drive down the road and be suffering the heat right now, but in here, all good. White sapote or sapote, I don't know how to say it, but 2 different types. Rangiora, that's a super medicinal plant. All of these are medicinal plants. That's a different type of banana. That one's a type of maple, but I don't think it, and we don't like bleeding things anyway. Onion. I'll show you how we do the onion too. Every time that we eat the onion, like if this was an onion, we'd just go chop chop and we'd leave like a little point there with the roots on it, and then we replant those. And they grow. They're not going to produce onions, but they produce the flower, and then they drop, and then they just reseed, and then they grow onions. That's magic. Like super magic. Like gardening when, like almost being, detaching yourself from it. Just plant, and just get in a routine of loving planting. Don't beat yourself up too much if things die. Some of them just grow the next year. Just have fun planting. Yeah, and it's so magical because I've planted thousands of plants and I've killed thousands of plants by accident, and it's like it was getting real depressing. Sometimes it would get real depressing. But the reward of when you see them all starting to grow themselves, it's so magic. Like I got tears in my eyes right now. It's magic, you know. This is only a couple of years old too. Cherry Moya's only supposed to start producing fruit at like 4 or 5 years, but help on me, don't want to eat it. This one's big. Cherry Moya. I was told wait till you can like actually squish it a little bit, but they're big. So this will be the first cherry moya we've tasted growing from our own. We got 3 cherry moyas, but this is the only one that started fruiting. And it's just all around this wandering Jew, no? Like, all good. That's been here the whole time, that wandering Jew. These are these probably that whole bit there is from India, and then some from Southeast Asia in the middle, which I'll show you. We used to pull this back because we didn't want it to grow, but now it's like keeping itself here, and I don't know what it's called, but it's like got some beautiful flowers on it, and it's got some quite aggressive looking roots, but like with the bananas, like having it here. Diversity is what you want. You want to produce every type of different color green, every type of color flower. They produce all these different type of terpenes. There's 1,000 types of microorganisms that can't live without a yellow flower, and then the different tones of them. There's 1,000 types of microorganisms that can't live without an orange flower. There's 1,000 types of microorganisms that can't live without a bit of red on the leaf. No? So you want every type of different color, you want every type of different smell, you want every type of different texture all together, and they all So you want diversity underneath. You want as many life forms underneath the ground as you can. And how you get that, you need diversity on top. Elderberry. Artichoke. We got Jerusalem artichoke, globe artichoke, and then cardoon. Cardoon's like pretty similar, but magical as chop and drop. Oh yeah, there's I forgot the name. Chestnut. And then that's pecan. Yeah, chestnut pecan. And there's I forgot the name of that, homie. There's a different type of fruit tree. My mind's a bit vacant right now, but we got a type of oregano, big leaf oregano. But like I said, 80 types of different plants. And that one produces that big fruit. I'm just trying to remember. Pomegranate. Vietnamese mint. Myoga ginger. That's gold kiwi fruit. We got gold kiwi fruit, red kiwi fruit. Yeah. But we only got one male gold, unless one of these other kiwi fruits. The last storm we had, it smashed down some of the bamboo, but we're going to wait till we get some big timber this time and chuck it up. Otherwise, we've only recently planted the kiwi fruit, and we only recently learned that once you get the kiwi fruit established, if you've got bamboo, the kiwi fruit can take the structure. But the kiwi fruit needs to be like 5 years old before it has that strength to be able to hold it up. So, in the meantime, we didn't know anything about like tempering them too, like burning the ends before you put them in the ground, and there's so many life forms cruising around here. The fungi releases acid too. It's pretty magical. The same thing as like berries. Our berries are like are asking, please eat me, because the seeds on the berries require an acid, whether it's a stomach acid, so they're calling out to the creatures to eat it, or the fungi. The different types of fungi can produce different acids that can cleanse that as well. So they'll migrate towards where that type of fungi are, which is pretty cool. All these are going to start taking off. The same thing, haven't been watered, but now they just got watered. And blue lotus has just started to grow in the middle of that. Inside there we got a pump, just off Temu, a little pump that aerates it. That one started to bubble already. So that's just hiding the pump. Yeah. I just got... Oh, sorry, homie. Oh, I didn't see you there, homie. Poraka. I'm sorry, homie. I'll close it back up again, eh? We got it? That's a big frog. Usually you got these little tree frogs. Yeah, that's just that little pump. So we've got to go hang this up. I'll just like chop it there and I'll show you where we hang them. But yeah, we get so many bananas. That one's Salvia divinorum, which is Mexican chipping weed. Just drying the leaves like that and vaporizing it, like quite mellow, quite nice. Especially you vaporize it with lemon balm. Pretty cool. A type of radish. Amethyst radish. Yeah, so that's a radish. A different type of radish. We've got amethyst radish over the other side. Catnip. These are cool, mugwort, when you chop them back and then use a planting seeds, because the birds don't come and disturb your seeds if they can't spread their wings. So you can just get the mugwort, get the stalk, and then you can plug them in the ground like that around the place. These ones are a bit soft because we already cut them. Cut them at a different time. Otherwise, if you go through the mugwort, you gotta be careful you don't stand on them because they're hard. But then these ones, we cut them quite a while ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago we cut them, so they've softened up. But when you first cut them and they're hard, you can just plug them around where you got the seeds, and the birds won't come into it and disturb the seeds because they can't spread their wings. Works good. We tried like running strings around everywhere and using the CDs at certain. We tried everything, but mugwort, just for that fact you get all these sticks. That's pretty cool. But we like vaporizing mugwort and having mugwort tea and stuff as well, and adding it to the smoothie as well for the diversity. Heaps of different medicinal properties to it. That one's got a red kiwi fruit inside there. And a different grape. But yeah, pretty hard to get through that area. So I'll show you this other side. Happy to see the pōrakas here. Like, this real early for the pōraka to come here, but feeling a little sorry that I almost went to squish it. I don't think I would have though. Cool that it jumped quick. But yeah, I love them. Especially love hearing them early hours in the morning too, their different songs. But as you can see, so wood chips around these areas, we pulled out a whole heap of creeping buttercup. There's still creeping buttercup. That's the main thing that we fight against. Oh, peppermint. We had peppermint up the other side. These ones. Yeah, that's like real dominant here. This one. And we can't just pull it out. You need to like put a spade in and pull it, otherwise it goes shh. So we just pulled a whole heap of that out. And these had been self-seeded from last year, which was cool. And so got them at the right time. Otherwise, creeping buttercup does take nutrients, and it does gank, still in a survival state. When they're in a survival state, same thing as I was telling you, chop off those top layers of your skin. In a survival state, they're grabbing nutrients, they're taking their job very seriously, they want to maintain the top. Until you got all this diversity everywhere, then they chill out. So it's cool knowing that, and to not hate on all these different weeds and stuff, and know that they have their place after there's diversity. And without them, it would have just been dirt. But no matter where you are, like that's why I want to go to a hot country where there's not much growth happening, and then try and establish 7, which will bring the ecosystem, which will bring the rain. I fully believe that the rainforest creates the rain. But we've always, so that's a pumpkin that's half-seeded, but we've always got, so there's golden passion fruit growing up that one. And I'm hoping that's, looks like it's pumpkin. But I hope it's watermelon. Otherwise there's winter melon everywhere. So that's the only male kiwi fruit that we got, and it's a golden kiwi fruit. Smells yum, and brings heaps of bumblebees. And there's another pomegranate in there. And a lemon. That's fig. And the fig, when it grows, especially that fig, it like leaves heaps of little trails that come out under the ground, and then you just like dig into the ground and you can chop them and plant them around everywhere. Yeah, it's so easy to like, once you've like established something, it's so easy to keep it and grow it. Like, just go through and just take little offshoots. I could show you how to do that if I get my little spade. You just dig a little bit and just make sure whatever plant you got has got a little bit of root on it, and then go plant it somewhere else. That's what mugwort was for. Like, you like vaporize it in the morning when you're gone a garden, put you in a relaxed state so you can sink in to Mother Earth. And as you're pulling out a little seedling, the seedling will tell you where it wants to be very easily. But yeah, we got like 5 different types of oregano, at least 7 types of different thyme. In the driveway, it's all creeping thyme. These are onion that was just from like the center of the piece, like I was telling you. Another narangilla. Mullein, that's just self-seeded from last year, or maybe 2 years ago. We didn't really have that one there last year, but 2 years ago there was one around here. But the basis of all this is creeping thyme. So very soon, so we used to have kikuyu everywhere, which is that, and they used to gank everything, but like now that it's growing in amongst that, it's so easy to handle. I documented the whole thing. So we just did a prune over here, and it looks ugly right now because it's just chop and then drop, so it looks ugly. But then all these other little plants are going to start growing up very soon. Like, it was only 2 days ago that we did the prune. You can see the dead little bits everywhere. But there's peppermint over there. Raspberry, so you can chop the raspberry leaves off. Geranium's good for keeping away the bunny rabbits. Bunny rabbits are still here, like, and that's the buzzy thing. Like, we got bunny rabbits, we got hedgehogs, we got rats, got frogs, crazy amount of different manu that running around everywhere inside here, different birds. But if a bunny rabbit was eating too much, the rest of the plants, so if it's like bunny rabbits eating too much of this lettuce, or bunny rabbits eating too much of one of the baby plants, the rest of the plants, because they get to know it, especially if it was self-seeded, these plants will be defensive of the baby. And then the bunny rabbit comes and eats the baby. These ones are going to release pheromones that tell the bunny rabbit to chill out. They all start talking to each other. They all start releasing pheromones. And then you can tell that the bunny rabbit's like drunk or stoned. No, it's just chilling in there, not really eating at all. And then you notice them, and you could be over here and there's just a bunny rabbit chilling over there, and you can get real close to it and it's just chilling it and not really eating. And then when you look into breatharianism and everything and it's the modi, you can tell that it's getting nutrients, but it's just not having to eat very much. Magic, no? When you're talking about the Garden of Eden, that's where it is. That's when all the you got all the animals there, and they're all synced in and they're all chilling out. Every type of animal, like a rainforest that has every type of animal, and they're not even really needing to eat. They're just sustained, so you can walk right past it and you'll be all good. No, they're not in a survival state. We make soap out of soap wort. There's a whole heap over the other side, but yeah, yacon. So just to give you an idea of yacon. So we eat that. Eat that. You could like harvest all of the yacon, but you just leave these pieces. You just leave those pieces. They got those bits on it and those roots on it. And make sure you leave those in the ground and it'll grow again. Or you can just leave the whole thing there and see these bits are starting to rot, and then they put nutrient around the whole area. The whole area gets deeper in topsoil. That one's orange berry. Yeah, these bits, I'll go plant there somewhere else. And then I add that to the smoothie as the base. You can put it in sand, but we didn't really notice that last. Only like keeps it good for like if you have a cellar and you put it in sand only for about 6 months, and then it starts rotting and disappearing as well. Anyway, but they last quite a while under the ground. Same with when we have pumpkins and everything, we just leave it there, and when we're ready for it, we've had pumpkins just staying on the ground and they've been sweet for over a year. And the ones that do rot, so if you just had a pumpkin sitting there and it rotted, that whole area, you're going to get about that much topsoil if you just leave it there to rot. No? Which is why we don't have a thing bin out there anymore, a honesty box anymore. I'm doing it for Papatūānuku now, I'm doing it for the earth 100%. Like everything else is just a benefit, like what do you call it? Everything else is just a side effect, a bonus. When you do everything for the earth, for the microorganisms that are underneath the earth, everything's just like magical after that. Even if you had no job, if you got no job and you're worried about money, just go out into the garden and give back to the earth. Do as much as you can for the earth, and then next thing you're going to get a phone call, you're going to get things coming in the mail, you're going to have entrepreneurial thoughts right at the right time. Like, so magical, sinking into her, realizing that she is your own body, and then Rangi Nui, the Sky Father, is your mind. The more you love what you put into your body and your mind, realizing that you're eating all the time, you're eating through your eyes, your ears, your skin, your nose, but your third eye as well, your whatu manua, whatever you show yourself. That's like casting spells on yourself, self-love. But the more that you love the earth, the more you love what you put into the earth, your body just starts healing naturally. There is no disconnection between the two. She is closer to you than your actual mother. She is you. Yeah. Oh no, that is amethyst radish right here. But we use the leaves. We don't too much use the root. We just leave them there, keep using the leaves, let them drop their seeds. There's gonna be some collard greens coming up here very soon too, and some kumara riwai. When you get to learn how, because that's a real, like, pretty aggressive, the same thing, you notice all the pricks facing up, so you grab them and you massage them up as you're pulling it. Yeah. Like, there's plants all up in here. Everywhere. So in the dry season, you get to notice, you leave you leave a lot of the plants there, and don't be too scared about letting them go to seed too. Japanese burdock, tree nettle, magic, same thing. The spikes are facing up. You can move it and grab it that way. If you push your hand that way, you're going to get pricked, and it's real sore, but real medicinal too. And all the little prickles on there, they dissolve straight away when they go into your skin. So if you grab it like that and you start to massage it, those needles are going to start dissolving, and then you can screw it up and then you can eat it. And real good. That's like the most powerful way to have, you wouldn't call it antibiotics, but it'll take the space of an antibiotic. Like, it amps up all the other biotics, like a probiotic, but like a superpower fucking boost all your biotics. Prebiotic, hard out prebiotic, but stimulant. I'd call it like a biotic stimulant. These are dwarf comfrey. That one's lady's mantle. That one, like, disappeared, but it's coming back. I forgot what the name of that one is. But went to the Hamilton Gardens, and they got their herb section, and where they had plants that were growing abundant and they were like herbaceous, and I couldn't find them anywhere else. I'd take a spoon, take a little clipping, ask it a question. Do you want to stay here, or you want to come to this food forest, this Veganic? And they definitely wanted to come here. I can tell you 100%. But if we were to zoom in on this, like, there, even in small areas, there's diversity, and then you can play with strata like that as well until they get to certain heights. One starts to get too dominant, you chop that one back, and then you chop that one only a little bit, and then you allow these ones to grow more. No, you're the middleman at the beginning. Your job is to be the middleman, the world bridger for the first, which is Rongo and Māori, the world bridger, to be the you are nature, no? Sink into nature. Help these plants get along for the first 7 years, establish the 7 essential strata, the 7 essential layers, and then you can leave. You don't have to leave, but you can leave, and they all start looking after themselves, Yeah, this area is going to need to get watered, but we do have the hose. That one looks like flannel weed, but it's not. I forgot what it's called. Dwarf tamarillo. These little berries, and when they're unripe, they're yuck, and when they're ripe, they're yum. Like a lot of other things. A couple of different grapes. Heaps of different berries, heaps of different types of berries, which are all just starting to wake up right now. But this is Lewis plum. That one's I forgot the name of it. Santa Maria plum. Strawberry guava. We got yellow guava over the other side. There's another strawberry guava. Yacon growing everywhere underneath. Peppermint. Lamb's ear. Yeah, different types of greens for the salads. Yeah, living mulch. When you get to living mulch, it's so magic. It's magic anyway. Eh? Ngā mihi aroha. Veganic whānau. If you're in Aotearoa and you want a place to stay, veganic. If you're a veganic, if you're organic and vegan, if you see like me, then yeah, you're allowed to stay. There's a playground underneath that with a what do you call it? A flying fox that we're going to chuck over the other side. I don't know whether I showed the other playhouse, but we got a gang of playhouses. Yeah. They don't really encroach into the stones too much. Grape. Tautau. That's a female tautau, so it produces berries. Puriri. This is produces our Māori taupata, and we've got about 5 different types of those. They produce berries and you can make coffee out of them. Karamu. Another fig. Cherry moya. Loquats that are just everywhere. We got a few different types of varieties of mint, like at least 3 different types of spearmint. They're different flavors, maybe it's from the different terpenes, but when you have Tautau, Mexican sunflower growing, the smells of everything amp up. All the terpenes, all the flavonoids of everything start getting real intense. A kale, which has been here for at least 3 years. We just keep chopping it back. False watercress, which we love. Some people don't like it, but I like it. It smells more like carrot. But what we're doing in here, we're trying to get as many different fibers as humanly possible. And then we have coconut water with it as the base to pull it together. So H3O2, so you can absorb it. Oh yeah, I think that one's just blackberry or boysenberry. Up here, toitoi or cutty grass. All the different grasses. None of these are kikuyu grass anymore. I'll show you what kikuyu looks like. That one. That used to be everywhere here and they cross over each other. I'm not eating this yet because I like ease my way into food. Like start off with liquid first. So I just had water with rock salt in it and a little bit of vinegar. Bubbled water, I could show you that as well. So yeah, I was raised with medicinal plants. In Māori it's called tohunga, like my auntie. 3 aunties I got that are medicine women, and my nan. But all these grasses are right. Well, I forgot the names, but we got at least 7 good grasses, and they produce biomass quick, and things can live inside them all good. There's no need in killing them, unless you want to. But mawe, we call this one. It's a medicinal plant that only grows in winter, really, but it's good for phlegm. Good for this is mugwort. Also good for like bronchial type things, sore throats and runny nose. See, just having a talk to the homie. Where do you want to be? I was like, oh, I'll be over here. Yeah, I'll be over here. Can start breaking up the soil. Yeah, over here there's not a lot of, what do you call it? Happy? There's not a lot of topsoil right here. So the yacon go down, and then you let the yacon rot, and then it creates topsoil. Same thing as potatoes. You want to plant potatoes everywhere. I'll show you that too. This was our worm farm. No more worms. We feed them all because we don't need them no more. All the nutrient for the plants comes from the forest now. Everything's chop, 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 chop. That's a worm farm that we don't use anymore. Just started to grow some tomato. And we've got like irrigation and stuff, but just use this for propagation. San Pedro. I've been wanting to see just leaving it, and Herb Robert, pretty good. It doesn't really kill much things underneath. See, Gotu-Cola's still under there, the strawberry's still under there. But while we're not watering, because I want to do a bit of traveling next year, so I'm trying to make it so it can last this summer without watering it. And we're pretty much at the top of the hill. There's springs on this peninsula, but if there is a spring, it's quite far below us. And there's salt air that comes through, so it dries things out pretty quick in the summer. But this Herb Robert is keeping everything pretty moist. Underneath here it's going to start growing again. These ones here, which is Okinawan spinach. That's going to start growing real quick. It's just dropped all its seed. But there's some baby ones underneath. Otherwise, I'm going to get rid of this creeping buttercup soon. That's the main thing that we pull out, just because it absorbs too much nutrient and even dries out the soil a bit around it. So creeping buttercup, no, we've just got those flowers on it. That's creeping buttercup. We get rid of that. But otherwise, all the leaves I'm going to show you is I chuck in the smoothie right here. 80 different plants. So that one just in small amounts. Poro. Alfalfa. That one's perpetual spinach. Hawkspit. There's some pineapple underneath there. This one's an apricot, gold rush apricot. That one's a tropical apricot. And there's a baby pawpaw under there somewhere. Otherwise, Teutonia. Teutonia's good too. Things can still survive underneath it. Poppies. Cabbage. Spearmint. And apple mint. Cat's ear. We've got quite a few different types of nasturtium. That one's South Heel. That one's cat's ear as well. And hawkspit. We got like about 7 different variations of these, which still come from the dandelion family. Dandelion. Alfalfa. Alfalfa's pretty good. But yeah, but we love the Teutonia. Allows everything else, the pineapples and everything, still all good underneath it. And so we're gonna pull these back because they gank quite a bit, and when we pull it, we just drop it. I'll show you. Dill, type of cabbage, and this has been here 3 years. This cabbage, just planting it in winter under the right moon, the right star constellations. In Māori we got different atua, which are gods, same as Greek gods and Nordic gods, Viking gods. Yeah, we got the same thing, but they're like personalities, archetypes that live within us. As I'm talking to myself, it sounds like me in my mind all the time, but the vibration underneath that changes, and there's comes in waves. So today is, I've got them all on my fingers and toes and on my face and everything. I got the Māori map, which is 13 month maps. 13 times 28 is Papatuanuku, or Gaia, like the Mother Earth, her map, or her calendar. And then Rangi Nui is the 13 times 20, your 20 fingers and toes, and then your 13 joints, big articulations. There's energies in those. Your 13 joints are like gates, but also like canvases that the moon and the atua of the day, the archetype of the day, use to paint their picture. And they come in waves. So it's the Parawera Nui wave, it's her wave. And so for 13 days, she goes and spends time with the next 13. So today she's spending time with Hene Moana, who is the goddess of water, the life essence of all water. We got three gods for water. And when we're talking about gardening, they definitely come through. Yeah, but Gotu Kola, Herb Robert. We just try and have all the colours. This one's our Kōkiri, or like our native spinach. And Herb Robert again. We use all the different dandelions. We call them puha. We use them all in our in this comfrey. That's just digging down and grabbing different nutrients others can't get to and pulling it up. Same with the bigger trees do that too, which is when we're talking about strata. And these are all just a whole bunch of medicinal plants. We add them to this too. And then what do you call it? Banana, passion fruit, and different beans. So all these are just self-seeding. We didn't plant any of this. We haven't planted it in a couple of years. So yeah, banana, passion fruit. These all self-heal, and different types of. Oh, that's plantain. We call it kupa kupa. We got a couple of different types, which we use. You can use for spider bites. There's other kupa kupa. You can tell it by those lines. Orange balm. This is where we just throw all our seeds. So we got heaps of different plants grow here, and we take them and go plant them somewhere else, like loquat, avocado. Golden Queen, peach, lemongrass. This one is so similar to the banana passion fruit, but this one is vanilla passion fruit. Yum as. We just need to stand that up, otherwise the roof's gonna cook it when it gets hot. This one's Golden passion fruit. And there's a big golden peach in here. Yeah, spearmint as well. Loquats are just going to end up being our chop and drop too, because they're just growing hard out as well. But there's a few playhouses over the other side. And I can teach you about these as well if you want to know about irrigation, especially using pressure tanks. When you're using pressure tanks, it's talking about the atua inside you too. And then if you're looking to electrical circuits, it's the same. If you're looking into how the mind works, how the memory works, it's the same. If you're looking about how AI when like image generation and video generation and development, how you can like send it pressure grows too much if you're trying to hold on to something. If you think you're going to forget something, what you resist will persist. But if you pass it away, if you just give it away to what do you call it? Git bash, Hugging Face, GitHub, open source. If you give it away open source, then the outer becomes the inner. And that's the same. I'll talk about it soon, the strata.